Because empirically investigate, you don't find them as something independent entity. You see, it's very scientific, you see, very logical. Because we are not believing this is what Buddha said. Instead, we are understanding what Buddha said. What's the point why Buddha said these things? Oh. So that's what it's saying here. See, when that's not its essential illness, it's our mental habit, the conceptual thoughts. When I have a strong headache, I cannot deny I have a headache. No? That because of my karma, my conceptual thoughts, a lot of those come together and I have it. Now our practice is this, you see. That's why I say we need dhammas. Study is not enough. Theoretically, you can prove these things. Yes, I understood. That's right. But practically, we don't have still. Still, I have pain. Still, I have attachment. Still, I have anger. That's why Dhamma practice is required. So crucial. See? That's why the Buddha was so kind, who showed us the path, how to follow step by step. When we suffer, we are suffering. No? It's kind of obvious, it's clear. But at the same time, it's not exist as we perceive. For example, the fires, this fire, the heap of fire is burning, hot, it burns, But now you scientifically you investigate. Where's the independent fire? You divide, investigate empirically the fire, all the dust particle, You cannot find an independent fire, you see. Say, this is fire. So when we cannot find something as substantial, independent fire, how you can characterize this is burns, is hot. See. That's why those who realize these teachings directly, like Milarepa, could not burn in the fire. When somebody throws rock on Milarepa, it doesn't hurt, because he realized that as it is. We call miracle. Actually, we are showing the miracle, not Milarepa, Milarepa is very uncontrite, where it is. No? He harmonized the reality nature, how it functions. And we contrived and make everything solid, and then we are showing the powerful miracle. I have a headache, I have this, that, See? That's what is how important is our Dhamma practice. So, Lord Jujusumguni is practically giving us the advice how to see these things. Say the body that is comprised of the four elements arise from afflictive emotions. This is, as mentioned, it's not just only this lifetime, life after life. We are so kind of tuned. We are so tuned in that confusion, in that pattern, in that habit, in the habits of the confusion, in the delusion. No? So, because of that, that habit continues clinging to the body. We are so attached to the body, says that some things exist. No, I exist, the bodies exist. And because of that, there is a sickness. As soon as you realize this body is not exist as we perceive, then there is no basis for the sickness, no illness. See? So now we cannot live there, So you don't have an independent body, you don't have sickness. This is all just illusion. It's all just nothing. Just live there doesn't help us. What should we do? We are still suffering. See, that's why I say, by bringing illness onto the path of realization as an alchemical elixir, illness is purified into great bliss, dharmakaya. See, how do we have to practice this? See, there are so many practices in relation to this, particularly this 5-part. When we get sick, when we age, when we are dying, when we don't get what we want, we are getting what we don't want, when there is all these unfavorable conditions, that when they manifest, now what we should do? Instead of confuse, instead of hatred, say, I don't want these things, I don't want this thing happen to in my life, why it is coming, why I deserve this, all this, instead of complaining all about that. First we acknowledge this happened through the delusions. This has happened through my karma. There's no one to complain out of me. I'm the only one who is responsible. See, this is very important. Accepting. This is what is called accepting. First, accept yourself, who you are. Doesn't matter, good or bad. You start from where you are. See, you don't have to be so highly realized. You don't have to be so rich or famous. You are who you are. Accept that. Then appreciate. I'm so fortunate. I have this precious human life. And I'm so fortunate I have Buddha, Dharma, Sangha in my life. See, that gives me hope. Because of Buddha, Dharma, Sangha in my life, then I have all these rest opportunities. Now look at all the sensual beings of the samsara who don't have this kind of opportunity, who are just struggling and suffering. No alternative. Sometimes they make suffering deeper, worse. And we have such great opportunity where you are. In that place, see, look at the suffering of all the sentient beings who are confused. There many are physically suffering. And everybody is mentally confused, deluded. So develop sense of such strong love, compassion. as I don't want suffering, as I want to have peace and happiness, so may all the sentient beings have peace and happiness. No? Just tune in that in your mind stream. No expectation. Simply just apply that practice in your heart. As I don't want this kind of suffering, may every sentient being free from suffering and causes of suffering. Even those enemies who hate you, as earlier mentioned, those obstructors, they also want to free from suffering. So practice, see, that's called practice. The application, the mind is called practice. Just relax there. No? Sometimes you can recall the life story of great masters who have practiced like this. As for example, he, after studying all this great Buddhist teaching, receiving a complete lineage from his masters, then he went to retreat for 7 years. At the end of his retreat, then he got sick. Leprosy. First he was depressed. No. I have received all these profound teachings, and I have been in a retreat for that many years. Now I got this kind of sickness. What in the world can deserve this? Then at that moment, then he recollected suffering of the sentient beings. He said, I am much better off. Even I die now, I have instruction to free from samsara. But not these all sentient beings that are suffering in the samsara. So he just kind of manifested uncontrollable compassion. Like could not bear the nature of the samsara suffering. No. So his bodhicitta practice was so powerful, kind of indomitable, no? Because of that cause. He revealed the enlightenment. See, he was free from that illness. No. But he was not expecting that. Simply just practicing that. Because that sickness allowed him to purify the rest of the obscurations, you see. So when we go through this kind of different types of physical sickness, we should acknowledge this result of my negative karma. It's manifesting. Now I'm purifying. See? I'm paying off the negative karma that I have done. See? And sometimes possible, when you get sick like these things, you feel joy, appreciate. So I'm purified. I'm so grateful, Dharma, the wisdom of Dharma that Buddha gave. See? That's how you can practice, see? Then, not only that, may my suffering be enough to purify all the suffering of the sentient beings. There are countless beings who are suffering like this, and they are desperate to desire to free from suffering. And may this small suffering, sickness that I have, be enough, has enough ability to purify all the sentient beings' sickness. See? That builds the courage. See? So that sickness what you have, instead of become a cause of suffering, you can take advantage and use to purify our negative karma, purify our attachment, purify our delusions, and it can become a path to achieve Buddhahood. See? That's the first path from the five, designed that. Then you visualize all sentient beings yourself as the yidam, pure body, as in the thought. See? Then you receive blessings from the great masters, the Guru Yoga practice. Yes, as you look at this sickness is just my mental habit, my karmic imprint that I'm paying. It's just my habit. This is my just duality mind that I'm experiencing. In reality, it does not exist. It's like pure as a space. Mahamudra practice. And at the end, to the dedication, by this practice, I accumulated great amount of virtues, merits. This virtue, merit that I have accumulated may become such a great cause that every sentient beings attain Buddhahood, dedicate. So there's a five paths you can apply into this practice, you see. That's what I mentioned, you see. Our mind is complex. So there's so many layers to go through, one after another, you see. That's what is, see, bringing the illness onto the path of realization, see. So there is as an alchemical elixir that you can see. When you have that alchemy, a huge a large part of metals, irons, metals, all this you can transform into gold. That very metal itself becomes the gold, you see. So like this instruction method is like the alchemy. Our very sickness, unwanted condition, see, it becomes the what we call unsurpassable method to purify and to become Buddha. That very mind, negative mind, through this kind of method, instruction, becomes the bodhicitta. Yedam deity's practice and realization of Mahamudra. See, you see how precious this is. You cannot find like this kind of instruction in other places. Oh. That's why Lord Jigdal Sungpa gathered hundreds and thousands of disciples, because his teachings were so effective. It can relate to all the different practitioners. Everyone gets the benefit from this. Oh. See, he was not forcing everyone should come to see him. He was just hiding in the mountain. But the word of the mouth goes everywhere. Then everywhere people talk about him. So let's go to see the such Lama who gives such a unique teaching. Oh. When you see such kind of Lama, the enlightenment is not so difficult. Oh. So still teachings here with us. We're so fortunate, We should owe such great, to this such great teacher. This is the way how to benefit sentient beings. See. So I said now, Alexander's illness is purified. It's purified means the illness itself is not exist as an illness. The illness is just becomes a path. Purification becomes a path to increase our ability, our excellent qualities, the wisdom, compassion. See, into great bliss, Dhammaka. That's what called great bliss. You see. All the negative forces are not exist as we perceive. All these negative forces, nothing but in the Dhammakaya. No. That helps us to calm our mind, to bring our mind in the right place. We just breathe the peace, breathe the joy. So that Dhammakaya, see. So there's nothing to abandon, you see. When we have this kind of skill, method, the alchemy method, when we have, there's nothing to abandon. But we need such great courage, it's an indomitable courage, will, strength, on the basis of wisdom, compassion. See, so this all are required. See, there's no magic. Or we should say that is the magic, When I say there's no magic means there's no, say somebody says this, okay, go on, it's not that way. But when you have the skill, method, it is the magic that very negative illness, sickness, suffering, depression, this all becomes part of the Dharma practice. And to free from suffering and to achieve enlightenment. It makes sense? See, so this is how Dharma is precious. That's how past Buddha taught in the world. That what Buddha taught to the sentient beings, that Lord Cakrasamvara, he fully captured, recovered, or uncovered what Buddha said and passed down to us. Because in between Buddha, Lord Cakrasamvara, there's so many great many teachers and masters came, so intellectuals, great Mahasiddhas came, but they all just understood partial about the Buddha. No. So now look at, say, when Buddha taught the Dharma teachings, I'm sure you have heard of the three wheels, turning the three wheels of Dharma. First, according to the Four Noble Truths, as we are ordinary person, we are unenlightened, we don't want suffering. All this, based on this, all he taught, Four Noble Truths. So you should understand the suffering. These are the suffering. And then this is the cause of suffering. You should avoid all the causes of suffering. This is a nirvana, cessation of suffering. What means a cessation of suffering? He introduced this. Then there's a path. Take the Eightfold Path. This is the path you take to achieve the cessation. See, like some things exist, all this. The suffering exists. The cause of such suffering exists. The cessation exists. The path to the cessation exists. See? Then that trained practitioners, meditating, studying, practicing. And you see as mentioned here, the root cause is grasping, fixation, which is connected to ignorance, self-grasping, all this. So second turning of the Dharma teaching is that everything's emptiness. With all the investigation, now suffering is emptiness. Cause of suffering is emptiness. The cessation of suffering is emptiness. Path to the cessation is emptiness. That's all. Progress through the great practice, accumulation. That's why I say study, practice has to go side by side. Then in that, some little confused who have not fully realized, Buddha said, first, Four Noble Truths, something exists, everything. But now, nothing exists. What? It's a paradox. Why? All these questions come out. Then Buddha taught the third turning of the wheel, non-duality. See? Otherwise, first, let's say, exists is like one extreme. Non-exist is another extreme. Eternalist, nihilist. So now to resolve this conflict, confusion, Buddha taught the third turning the wheel, especially the quality of the mind. How mind becomes the whole system, Mind is the basis of the samsara, nirvana. And that mind is depends on the individuals, how you perceive. All this. So, the thought, non-duality is called now. There's everything, all the possession of the phenomena is your mind. It's all the phenomena that you have reflection. It's the reflection of the karma, reflection of the mind. See? That you cannot deny. See, if I have a feeling of negative here, it's my reflection. I'm the responsible. But when I don't realize this, I have to blame to somebody else. It's your fault because it's this. When I realize it's my mind, there's no one to blame outside of me except me. See? Once I met a good friend, I said, oh, you are so wonderful, you are so kind, you are such. Become a so good friend. Then after some time, I don't like that person. Then I fight. You are so bad, you are so cruel, all this. It's, you see, that person is the same person and the first I met. But because of my reflection, because of my habit, because of my karma, all this, manifestations. But at the end, it's the mind. As yesterday I mentioned, you see, when you perceive this is a demon, enemy, then after the practice of loving kindness, compassion, bodhicitta, no longer your enemy. It's my parents through many lifetimes. Then when I practice the Yidam deities, it's not my enemy, it's a Yidam deity, Then I practice Mahamudra, it's nothing exists, it's emptiness, See how the mind. That's what's called turning the third, the wheel of the Dharma, that Buddha taught. See, step by step. That's why when you study, it will come later. 5 parts, 10 bhumis are designed there because of that. Make sense? Okay, so this is now. Okay. 다음부터 주로 가져도 중일 왜? 당원서 대 가지고 말다. So I have to refresh myself. Still I have this body.